Good afternoon, guys. This is Armando Macias, and this is my SQL screencast. So here we have the first function as select distinct. Distinct keyword is used when the select statement to eliminate all the duplicate records and only retrieve unique records. Here's a sample of the code, how it goes. I will explain right now with this example. Here we have select distinct salary from employee table. What we want to do is we want to get the unique salaries from the employee. As you can see here, we have 9 employees from the employee ID, the employee name, employee age, employee title, and the salary. We want to get the specific instances from salary. Once we execute the code, we get the results. 2,000, 1,500, 6,500, 8,500, 6,800, 4,500, and 10,000. As you can see here, none of them repeat, although here we have 2 instances that they repeat. Now moving on, we have SQL order by. Order by keyword is used to sort the set of results by one or more columns. Also, the order by keyword sorts the results in ascending order by default. To sort the records in descending order, you can use the desk keyword. As you can see, these are the 2 pieces of code. For example, here they say select what column you want to select it from what table you want to use, and what order you want it to have it from, depending on the columns. So here you have the same code, but here you have descending. So this one would arrange them in ascending order, and here in descending. We'll look at it right now in the example. Here we have the 2 pieces of code. This is for the default and this is for descending. Here you see it's ascending from the lowest to the highest. Here we have from the highest to the lowest. As you saw in the previous example, these are the distinct factors, the unique ones, not the repeated ones. Next, we move on to select top. The select top clause is used to specify the number of records to return. The select top clause can be very useful on large tables with thousands of records. Returning a large number of records can impact on performance. You do not want so many to overload your system with so many records that you bring it out at one time. So here, we have a piece of the code. Select top number or percent. You can specify the number in your table or what percentage you want it to show of the column name or names from the table name. Here we have an example. Select the top 2 from employee. Here we have the employee name, and then here we have the employee age, employee title, and salary. Here we did not specify what to show. Here you can put and show the top 2 employee names, employee titles, or whatever. But here, since we put the little asterisk, we get everything, the top 2. So here we want the top 55% from employees. So these are the top 55%. As you can see, it did not return all the table, but it only returned the 55%. We move on to SQL like. The like operator is used to search for a specific pattern in a column. Here you have select what column name or the names from the table name and the location of the column and the pattern that you want to search it from. As an example, here we have select anything from employee, where employee name like A. So this is just going to get the employee names. It's going to look from it, and it's going to get all the employee names starting with A. Here we have the percent sign just says that we do not have, it just completes any other field. For this, we just specified the employee name has to start with an A. As if you see here in the result, Armando and Adan are both start with A, and you see employee ID 1 through 8. So eliminated the other ones that we did not need. Here now we move on to SQL in. The in operator allows you to specify multiple values in where clause. So we have select column name or names from the table that you want to select it from, and where the column in values 1, 2, or whatever 2 you want to end. Here we have the example. Select anything from employee, where employee age in 22 or 21 range. So here we specify that we just want to search for the employee names, the employee age depending on 22 years old and 21 years old. So here, once we execute the code, it goes and gathers all the employees. There are both 22 and 21. You see here we have it, and this is the one that displays it. Also, we have SQL average. The average function returns the average value of a numeric column. Here we have select average value from the column name, which column we want to say it, from table. Okay, so once we execute the code, select average age as average age from employee. So it's going to look back to our employee table, the one we've been using, and it's going to get all the ages, add them up, and get the average. As you know, the average is adding them up and dividing by how many people they are. So here it demonstrates the average age as 23.555. We can round it off to 24, but to round it off we will need to another operators that we're not covering in this screencast. Next we move on to SQL count. For the count function returns a number of rows that matches a specific criteria. The SQL count function would only count those records in which the field in the brackets is not null. So we have to have values in the fields. Here we have select count expression from what tables you wanted, where the predicament or the parameters you want to set. We have two codes here to validate this example. Select count employee ID as number of employees from employee the table. So here it's counting how many employee IDs we have. So as you said, we had 9, as you looked at before in the other examples, we have 9 employees total. So here it's going to give how many IDs, and it's going to count how many values there are in the column employee ID. So as we have 9 people, it counts 9 and returns 9. Here we have select count employee ID as high rollers from employee ID where our salary is bigger than 8,000. So this is going to count only the employee IDs where the salary that they earn are bigger than 8,000. If we go back, we see that we only have 3 people that earn more than $8,000. So now we move on to SQL sum. The sum function returns the total sum of a numeric column. So here we have the select sum column name from the table name. We have the SQL sum, and here's our code. SQL sum select sum of salary as total salary paid from employee. So here it's going to look at the salaries that you have in the table and just add them up, and then it's going to return like this. As we said it's total salary paid, and it's going to return our value. Next we move by group by. The group by statement is used in conjunction with the aggregate functions to group the results set by one or more columns. Here's a pretty long one. Select column name, aggregate function, and what column name we want to search from the table where the column is the operator value, and group by column name. I know it's long, let's go look at an example. We'll be using other tables instead of the one that we have because this one has a bigger code. So we have orders here, shippers, and employees. Let's look now at our example. Okay, select shippers from the shipper name and then count the total order ID as number of orders from the table orders, and then left join, so it's gonna join to the left the shippers on orders.shipper ID, shippers, and shippers ID, and then group by shipper name. So it's just gonna get the shipper names from the shipper IDs, and then it's going to count the total number of orders. As you see here, Federal Shipping, Speedy Express, and United Package. These are total orders that they have. Now, last we come to SQL having. The having clause is used in combination with the SQL group by clause. It can be used in SQL select statement to filter the records that SQL group by returns. Here we have the regular code. Select the columns, aggregate function, the expression what we want from the tables that we're using, where the predicament that we're giving it or the argument, and group by the columns which one we want to group by, and having the conditions depending on how many conditions we want to give it. Here's an example. Select employee name and then count salary as total salary paid from employee table, group by employee title, having a count of the salary of 6,000 or more. Here it's going to get all the employees from our employee table, and it's going to count the salaries that they earn, only returning the salaries that are bigger than 6,000. So here's the result that we have. Well, hopefully I've helped you understand a bit of the basic SQL commands. This is Armando, and have a good night.